right on. Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm sitting here. I'm grinding it out today. I got to tell you something. I was out there walking and talking today, and I came up with this idea in my head. I was thinking to myself, I've learned something today. I got a package, an app on my phone, and I'm sitting here grinding through it. It allows me to do videos. I don't know if you've seen some of these shorts I do, the just short clip videos. I'm just trying to learn how to use this tool. And what's cool is it's starting to see how these things are put together. And you'll see, hopefully you'll see an improved quality in the stuff that I'm doing. But it's kind of cool that with the technology, right? I have this little computer in my hand and I'm able to do that. And what's funny about that is I've been a learner my entire life. I didn't realize it at the time, but I've been always learning and always trying to get excited about things I don't know how to do. That's why I've done so many different things. I was a karate instructor, I was a mortgage broker, general contractor, concrete contractor, digital artist, photographer. I mean, the gamut of things I've done, it's crazy. And it's all based on this quest for knowledge. And I remember when I worked in the federal prison, that was the one part about me about that experience that baffled me, is that I would run across guys who had never experienced any of the things that were pretty much a regular part of my life or had been a regular part of my life at some time or the other. In fact, some of the younger guys would actually struggle with the idea that I would just make a decision to go do something like start doing digital art and then just start doing it and then do it. Next thing I know, I'm a digital artist, right? Got a Wacom tablet, do it on the computer with Photoshop and Manga Studio. It's pretty cool. But that there's a sense of satisfaction in that knowledge. And what's ironic about it is that knowledge builds. So here we sit, me and you, we're sitting here talking. I'm doing this podcast thing and you're listening, and hopefully I'm teaching you something, right? Well, this is the culmination of a whole lot of different things I've had to do and had to learn how to do in my life, or get better yet, chosen to do simply because I'm intrigued by the idea of, oh, how do you do that, right? That's why I believe that success is imminent. Not that I'm not successful now. Financially, I'm successful. My relationship is successful. I think for the most part, this podcast is successful only because it continues to show up. It continues to happen. That is a success story in itself. It's a success story from the standpoint of tenacity, of endurance, of the willingness to struggle and to stay on course, regardless of how I feel about it. And I mean, I come back from the anniversary, I want to say honeymoon, because it actually was kind of a honeymoon. We really had an amazing time. It was just cool as hell, right? Had a great time. But right now, what you see is you'll see the falling off. Got this amazing thing going on, and my energy levels are destined to drop at some point where I will fall back into giving a shit what you think about what I have to say. And since I learned that phrase, that's actually been something I've learned to improve my life. I almost have to not care. Sorry, it's not that I don't care about you. It's just that I cannot do this and care about what you think. I'm being real with you because this is all I got. You're getting the best of it until it gets better. But let's talk about this perspective of learning. What will you learn today that you didn't know yesterday? What will you learn today that you had no idea about yesterday? What thing will you read about? Will you experience? Will you taste? That up until today you've never done. You've never experienced. This knowledge thing, that's an energy source. What's cool about that knowledge thing is it's everywhere now. I have that little computer, that phone that I used to do those little short videos. Guess what? That thing is it's a monster computer. It has more information than I can ever possibly learn. It has more information than I could possibly even scroll through. This brings me to a sense of responsibility that we have to ourselves, or we should have. You want to live your best life? The first thing you got to do is you got to figure out what your best life looks like. How do you do that? Well, you could turn your phone on, and then you could start thinking about who you are while you're looking at that phone and going, well, I kind of like this. I like traveling. I like art. I wouldn't mind being a chef. That'd be cool. And then you hit that little phone, hit those buttons on that phone, and research. Learn everything you can about that thing that you think you might want to do. That's why I don't get it. The possibilities for you to be amazing are endless. And what's cool is you have a reference guide right there. You have a helper right there. It's that phone, that thing that goes ding ding, hey you, hey you. Well, instead of just letting it distract you, uses it as a tool. You realize that I could actually become a washing machine repairman with YouTube videos? I could actually learn how everything I need to know about being a podcaster. In fact, I challenge you, if you want to do a podcast, you can do a podcast about how my podcasts suck. If you want, that'd be cool. Anything. Bringing it back to you when you lay your head down tonight. Take a minute and ask yourself, what did I learn today? What did I learn today? Let's skip the whole improve my life thing. Let's just take that equation out of it, because that seems to be a complicated issue that a lot of people just can't seem to grasp. Just go to the basics. What did you learn for your employment today? What did you learn on the job today that made your job easier? What did you learn on the job today? What did you figure out that is actually making your job tougher? What skill did you acquire? I acquired the skill to talk on camera. Took me a while. I got all weird. I'm like, well, I don't look right. I'm not that interested. You know what? I don't have time to care what you think about what I'm doing, because it's just going to get better. I'm going to continue to do this, and eventually someone's going to say, you know what, I think he's got a point there. If for no other reason, simply because he can stick to it, he shows up every day, and he does his best to help his audience. And that's really the goal right there. What will I learn today? Like I said, I learned about the video thing. Tomorrow I'll learn a little more about sound. It could be sound for me. I'll read a few articles about this or that. The workout's coming up. I'm going to mess with sandbags today. My son-in-law, it's kind of snowy, so I don't think I'm working out outside at the park this time. I'm going to actually head over to my son-in-law's, work out in his garage. He's got he has sandbags and a full CrossFit setup. I can do CrossFit over there. So I'm going to do some stuff with sandbags today. And I guarantee I'm going to learn something about those sandbags. But I've never done sandbags before. And am I going to be perfect at it? No, it's going to suck. I'm not going to want to do it. I'm going to hate it. And guess what? I'm going to do it anyway. Just as we're sitting here, let me ask you before we wrap everything up. There needs to be an action on your part. Just think about this. What will you learn today? What can you learn today that's outside your scope, that's beyond where you currently are, your knowledge base? What thing will you say, I wonder what that's about. I wonder why that is. When you wake up every day, ask yourself that question. What will I learn today? What will I strive for, to overcome, to accomplish, to experience, to do that I've never done before? Now, why is this important? You ever been in a restaurant where there was only one thing on the menu? I have. There's a restaurant here, a local restaurant. There's only two things on the menu. They either have ribeye or filet mignon. And then it comes with potatoes, butter, bread, fresh baked bread, and a salad, right? A wedge salad. There's a reason there's a lot of things on most restaurants' menu, and it's because people don't all like the same thing. And for the adventurer among us, it's about picking something you haven't experienced or haven't tasted simply to see if you like it, right? The poor guy, all he does is ever order is tacos or cheese burritos, right? Goes to a Mexican restaurant, orders cheese burritos every day, his whole life. He's 80, 85, 86. He's laying on his bed. He's over there about dead. His son comes in. What do you want, Dad? I want a bean burrito. I want a bean burrito for my last meal, right? Son goes to the Mexican restaurant. Restaurant says, nope. We're giving him menudo. Oh, a menudo. Have you ever had menudo? People either love it or they hate it. It's tripe. It's cow stomach, right? Red sauce. I like menudo, so. But his son takes his dad menudo, and his dad's laying there, where's my bean burrito? And his son says, Dad, I brought you menudo. I think you'll like it. Try it. And there that old man does. He's laying there in his bed. He decides, what the hell, I'm dying anyway. It can't kill me, right? He takes a bite of menudo, big old spoon of menudo, and he realizes it's the most amazing food he's ever eaten. If you're not learning, that's where you're going to be. Can you imagine being 75 years old, and at 75 you realize there's something in your life you've always been afraid of, or you've always wanted to try, and you finally got enough information and learned enough about it to realize, oh crap, I should have done that because that was cool as hell? Sandy, and here's an example. Sandy and I went snowshoeing on our anniversary, right? For some reason, we got it in our head that it was terrible to be outside in the snow. Now, granted, we love walking in the snow, but there's just this attitude or this idea about the cold. And we're like, oh, we hate the cold. If I'm snowshoeing, I don't mind the cold at all. In fact, you actually have to have cold if you want to snowshoe. Had we never tried it again, we wouldn't know what we know today. And that's what I'm talking about when I say learn. When you go to the restaurant, pick something you've never eaten before. We went out to dinner for the anniversary. I had duck pot pie. Now, first of all, I'm a hamburger guy. I'm a steak guy. I'm a shrimp guy. I'm a Mexican food guy. I am not the kind of guy who is going to order a pot pie for supper, right? That's just not who I am. That's why I did it. Number one, I don't recall ever having duck. I don't think I'd ever eaten duck before. And number two, I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity. If this food is, if a duck pot pie is going to be good, it's going to be good here, right? It was the most amazing meal I've ever had. As far as pot pies go, it was the best pot pie I have ever had. Duck is the richest, most flavorful, creamy meat that I think I've ever eaten. Had I not stepped outside my box, I wouldn't know that. I'm bringing it back around to you. What things don't you know? It doesn't matter what you know. What things don't you know? Wouldn't it suck if there was one thing you don't know that you could have learned and it would have changed the whole trajectory of your life? Maybe this podcast is it. Maybe you don't realize it, but this podcast is actually your avenue to a better life, to push you in a direction you've never gone before for whatever reason. And it turns out that direction is the thing. That's your rockin' moment. That's your winning moment when you're like, damn, I can't believe it. When I went to become a deputy sheriff, I never imagined how much fun and how much energy it would be. But it's not for the reasons most people think. You know, a lot of people, when they think about being a cop or even in the federal prison, I never imagined the amount of energy and positive experiences I could have working in a federal prison. What I realized was I was uniquely suited for that environment because I used to be one of those guys. I was right on the verge of being an inmate. I was doing things I shouldn't have done, and had I continued on the course I was on, I would have most definitely ended up in prison for one thing or the other because that's where I was headed, right? That was the path I was on. And I changed directions. I go work in this prison, and the one thing I've come to realize, because I stepped outside my box, not everybody in prison is a terrible person. And more than that, no matter where most people are in their lives, they have value. There's value in that person. I'm over there with people walking around from different backgrounds. I talked to men who had never had a job. Didn't know who their parents were. And your thought is, well, oh my God, they're inmates, right? Oh my God. No, they're just people who made bad choices. And had I not allowed myself to learn, to get to know who they are, to expose myself from that level to the point that I should actually develop some trust between me and the people I was in charge of taking care of or responsible for, I would have never learned that. That's why I'm here now. I used to help them. I'm helping them every day. Why wouldn't I transfer that to you? Because the reality is that there's a struggle somewhere in your life. There is something you dream of doing or you want to doing or something you wish you could change and you just haven't been able to change it. Learn. Learn something you don't know about it. Learn something about motivation, about action, about anything in your life, in any direction you want to take your life. And I guarantee, guess what? You will get there before you know it. Because no matter where you are, no matter what you know, there is more to learn than you will ever be able to take in. There is more to learn than you will ever be able to focus on. If you're going to spend an hour looking at your phone, don't spend an hour surfing social media. Give yourself 15 minutes of social media time twice a day and spend the rest of the time looking at that phone as stuff and opportunities for yourself, places you might want to take your life that will make your life better. I guarantee you will appreciate it. You will look back on it and you will say to yourself, damn, I'm glad I learned that. Because the saddest moment in anyone's life is when they hit the end of it, and it's only at the end that they realize they could have done something better. I don't know. I'm just one guy. I wake up every day and I think maybe I can change the world one person at a time. Not everybody's ready for this, but if you are, I guarantee you it's a 3-step process. Pick it, take action, evaluate it, and then start again. Pick it, take action, and evaluate it. And I guarantee no matter what it is, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your finances, learn about it, learn more about it, educate yourself, go after that knowledge base, and you will be able to do anything. I promise you that. Till next time, just remember kindness and consideration and empathy is the rule. And as always, just remember today's your day. Make it a good one.